Bonjour, bonjour, and welcome to Fiction After Lunch. I'm Sam from the future, and I haven't slept in weeks. I'm here to warn you about the following themes of the next part of our story. You will hear about child abuse in the beginning of the part, and from minute 33 on, it gets really gross. Mindy wrote about gore and a lot of blood and organs and stuff like that. And I have not slept in weeks. So think twice before you continue to listen to the story. But if you want to have some sleepless nights, you can enjoy the following. Thank you and bye.
Bonjour. Point.
It gets more suspenseful as you scroll down.
Yes.
Jim and Paul, disguised as a bush, hide in front of a house.
What are you doing, Meck?
Oh, my leg is bleeding, I will endure the pain. Like I do in my whole life. Great.
Like the further we go, the more pain you feel in your body.
Yes, I do.
Because you don't sleep right
I
or
relate.
something.
Yeah.
Do you need more pillows or something?
More pills, yes.
Pills. Okay. So Sam reading.
I'm not Sam, am I?
No, you're still Blue and Jim.
No, that's too deep of a voice. This is the place.
Whispered.
Shoot. This is the place.
Whispered Jim as he and Paul, disguised as a bush, hide in front of a small house which consisted of 6 units. In one window they saw Mindy happily playing with a grumpy teddy bear.
Okay, Paul. This is the correct address, and this should be the girl the Earthling mentioned. She knows the secret. Let's go inside.
Just as Jim wanted to jump out of his bush disguise, suddenly a large van arrived in front of the house. Huge men with sunglasses and suits came out of the van and disappeared quickly but uncomfortably quickly into the house. I see why you stopped editing.
Yeah.
Silence. Then screams were heard. The screams of a little girl.
You're welcome.
No! Let me go! I must stay until Mom and Dad come back. No! Let me go!
Small Mindy, still in her
Pajama.
and holding her small grumpy teddy bear, was dragged out of the house by the 2 men.
Stop moving so much. Your parents are dead. We need to take you with us and bring you to your new family.
One of the men shouted, twisting her arm in a painful way. Mindy didn't listen and continued screaming and fighting against the 2 men.
They are not dead. You are just kidnappers who love the blood of small children and eat them. I will not go with you. Help! Help! Help!
One of the men held a small towel in front of Mindy's mouth, muffling her screams, and her body became like a lump in a second.
Mindy had a little lump.
No. How sweet.
No.
Still the men's.
Who this?
So you need to talk with yourself again. So 2 men.
Oh, yeah. Get closer. Come here. I've got a surprise for you.
No, don't punch me. But it's not so long. I have Walter and Flippy wipes here.
Ah, good.
Sam inspired me.
No, we're done with all the vibe check, are we?
The wipe check.
Yes. So, finally. She was quite annoying. Yes, but let's go now. I finally want to go home and enjoy a fresh, cold beer while lying on my newly bought sofa. That's the best idea you ever came up with. Hey, do you want to fight, you bitch?
The sleeping Mindy was situated in the back seat of the car, and the van drove away, leaving a big dust cloud in front of the house, leaving the teddy bear on the street. Jim jumped out of the bush and onto the street, grabbing the bear.
What's wrong, Meck?
Oh, nothing.
I like the where the story is going. This is very interesting.
Like, you tried to figure out, like, what's happening? Like, why is she, like, kidnapped, you can say, what?
So I'll read exactly like it's written.
Yes.
These ugly, disgusting humans ran fast in finding her. Come on, Paul. We need to follow them. Quickly.
Sorry. Yeah, quickly.
It's even underlined Mindy.
Quickly.
Yeah, but I couldn't do everything.
Quickly.
Quickly.
Quickly. Who's Lee? Poor
It's
Lee.
actually a cute word. Cute word.
Quickly. Quickly in her face. What should you... And can you finally stop eating everything that you see? You don't even have to eat like these sickening humans.
Shouted Jim as Paul was trying to stuff a water hydrant into his mouth. He let go of the hydrant, hugged him, and followed Jim, who was already on the way to chase after Mindy's kidnappers, holding the bear to his chest.
6 months later.
6 months later.
Meck is reading.
I noticed.
So now you're a narrator.
Yes. I'll do my best.
Yeah.
There was one strong philosophy deeply rooted in the brains of its citizens. A child should never grow up without parents. But what happens when you lose your parents, for example, in a plane accident? Where will you grow up? The answer was clear for this country. If your parents are dead or missing, just grow up with a new family by the process of adoption. But what happens when no one wants to adopt you?
No one wants to adopt Mindy!
No one wants to adopt Mindy!
Oh, that's not a problem. Every child will get parents. That's the law. And that's exactly what happened to our dear, small and cute Mindy. She was adopted. You can see a huge house which well,
Yeah, you can see.
Whose entrance?
Whose entrance?
Yeah. You can see a huge house whose entrance was decorated with beautiful flowers and sculptures. This was the place Mindy was now living in.
So she was adopted once, right? Mm-hmm. And we talked in the original story, like in chapters, I think the first chapters or something, that she doesn't want to be adopted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Here's
this is the story about her adoption era? I don't know.
Her two adoptive parents, you could also say the step-parents.
Step-parents, okay.
Her two step-parents were in the kitchen. It was perfectly tidy, and not a speck of dust could be seen anywhere. An older woman with short-styled hair and a little too much makeup hiding her already old face was in the process of making herself an espresso. At the dining table sat a middle-aged man reading the newspaper. I won't repeat that he's doing it at the dining table because that's already established.
I saw that I changed the sentence because I think I wrote down like a middle-aged man was reading at the dining table, and I was like, maybe it's better to change the sentence.
You suffer from dementia and you missed the first part. I will repeat the sentence as it's written. At the dining table sat a middle-aged man reading the newspaper at the dining table.
That's why I have so many words. It's exactly just like repeating.
Yeah. Okay.
But where is Mindy? Now, I need to spoil you. There was, and never, will be a Mindy sitting at this table or ever set a foot into this kitchen. Because she is...
Sam reading.
Now Sam is reading.
Change of persona. The new
Yes.
name of Mindy is Sam Reading. Hello, Sam Reading.
Yeah, because she is Sam reading. Okay.
It had been 6 months now since Jim started observing Mindy. Maybe he was able to get clues about finding the secrets of mind control while observing her life. It was not his job to interact with his human. Even if she was beaten up every day until unconsciousness, getting far too little food, and being treated like a slave.
Ooh.
I think the neighbors were knocking at the wall.
No, we don't have neighbors there.
Okay.
We don't have neighbours.
I don't have neighbors.
Where are the neighbours?
Where are the neighbors?
Oh,
I will
if
tell you in the story.
Did they suffer the same fate like little Mindy here?
Who knows?
Where they are abducted and asked politely for answers? We'll see.
What he did notice about this human Mindy was that she never cried like all other people he observed so far when something similar happened to them. He couldn't stand it. As an...
That's the ways. The alien ways.
Yes, I know, and again we have to change that.
Yes.
As an Urk, you have no parents. You are artificially constructed in vessels as a copy of the previous generations. You obtain all knowledge through the pack, which will be a part of your body when you leave the vessel. Jim always loved destruction, and he was always a bit clumsy. Once he reprogrammed the new battle robots of the Urkish military in order to increase their destruction rate while consuming less power. It was an awesome idea, but the disadvantage was that they were unstoppable. Once you gave them an order, they will not stop fulfilling this order. Accidentally, this led to the destruction of half of his own planet. Afterwards, he was sent to Earth, given such an important mission. Honored him greatly, but...
Giving such an important mission. There's an N too much. But I think it emphasized greatly how much it honored him.
It should have been, given such an important mission honored him greatly, but...
But
And this is a big but. That's actually a quote.
next quote on our pillows.
Great humor
But
today.
in your pillows.
Great work, everyone.
Great work, everybody. Clapping, yay!
A cough brought him out of his thoughts. Jim, disguised as a distorted skeleton figure, which you would normally only use for Halloween decoration purposes,
No, but
yes, was situated in a very cold and quite wet basement.
I wanted to say the skeleton I have in my basement. So
in your very
real
cold-
life events, I say here.
Yes. There's a nice plastic figure you use for Halloween decoration purposes, which is stored in a very cold and quite wet basement.
Yes.
Yes.
Goodness, you're so creative.
He was a guest on this podcast already.
Yeah.
No,
We have a picture of this Halloween skeleton figure on our Instagram. So
remember?
take a look too.
Remember what happened to Norbert?
I'm not sure.
Or maybe we will put one
You
here.
did,
Yeah.
yes.
We will put one at some point.
Yeah.
Mindy.
Ask us. Sorry.
Yeah, remind us.
Remind us, please, if you would like to see a picture. Okay.
Mindy was lying next to him on the floor in the basement, curled up into a ball, wearing only a t-shirt and talking to herself while coughing in between. You needed to get this out anyway.
Yeah, I do.
I'm so sick.
I'm so sick. It's nothing. I I wonder how Lisa is doing. I promised I would play Farmer Ben with her.
What's this?
What's this?
It's a game for Nintendo DS.
Okay.
But she likes to play a game with her.
Okay.
It's not the original name, I changed it.
Ah, okay.
Farmer Ben. Farmer Ben. I like it. I like your concept.
Actually, this came also from in one episode we said that Jim, like I think it was like episode 4 or something. Jim had a sheep knife. We were saying, oh yeah, this is Farmer Jim Simulator, alternative universe.
Okay.
So I was editing this episode, like
Farmer Ben.
for a YouTube channel, yeah, and I was inspired because I also have farmer.
From the first time in your life, you felt inspired.
Yes. I hope she's not mad at me. I miss her. Mom, Dad, I want to go home.
Shivering, she fell asleep coughing. Jim decided to come closer to her now and scanned her body with an alien device showing a black screen. Shortly after the scan, the screen showed a red skull.
Shortly after the scan.
It's a scam.
That is Jim's concern.
Yes.
That someone's going to die.
Yeah.
Oh, before telling the secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
He wants to find
selfish Jim. And here comes the reason why I said this. If this keeps up, she's going to die.
Jim observed trembling body of sleep.
Please, you have to delete this particle over here. Please do it. Do it.
No,
This
don't.
one.
Mac, no.
Yeah, much better. Jim observed trembling body, sleeping Mindy.
Stop it.
Much
Don't
better.
change my story.
Now it's nice. 9,333 words.
Yes.
This is greatly improved now.
Yes, I know.
Jim observed trembling body sleeping Mindy.
Perfect.
In order to figure out the secret she has. What? Something's so wrong about this sentence, it doesn't work. Yeah. In order to figure out the secret, she has to say... Ah, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Not the secret she has got, but the secret... Oh, yeah, I see.
Secret comma, maybe.
Dummy! Little dummy. In order to figure out the secret, she has to stay alive. She is the key.
Jim opened his pack and drew out a greenish, warm-looking blanket, which he carefully placed over Mindy body in one swing.
Mindy buddy.
Place blanket over Mindy body.
Robo Gym Simulator.
Mindy body cold. Blanket.
Blanket warm.
Blanket place over Mindy body.
Like a coffee shop order.
Let's tremble.
Warm blanket, Mindy buddy.
Mindy body.
She seemed to tremble less immediately, and her face started to soften up a bit.
Time for my new disguise,
said Jim while standing up.
My reading. So next day, the two step-parents were following their daily routine while spending time in the kitchen. It was a perfect morning. The birds were chirping in a joyful frequency, and the whole kitchen was filled by the smell of freshly brewed coffee. In itself, no one would suspect that these two parents would hide a little girl in their basement dying of hunger. Why do they not care for Mindy, you will ask? The answer is as cruel and as simple as it is. Greed. Greed is what controls the mind of so many people. The wish to always have more and to never be satisfied. While conducting the principle of forced adoption, the receiving parents earn a huge amount of money from the state. And these two loved their money. Just as the woman was brewing herself a coffee using her overly expensive-looking coffee machine that could surely pay 4 months' rent of a hungry little girl, there was a knock on the door.
Since when do hungry little girls need to pay rent?
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's when you listen to all of the other episodes, you like it's a standard joke.
Could you please repeat it in your joke voice? Because I didn't get it, and I feel dumb
Just
for it.
as the woman was brewing herself a coffee using her overly expensive-looking coffee machine that would surely pay 4 months' rent of a hungry little girl, there was a knock on the door. Okay.
Hey, can you open up?
You're the woman.
Was?
You're the woman shouting.
Oh, it's fine. She's got such a unpleasant,
No, I just wanted to say
squeaky
because
voice. It's nice.
okay.
It was a great voice, but I can do it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to tell you. Okay.
I think it fits this unpleasant, greedy person very well.
Or do you want to repeat or?
Hey, can you open up?
She shouted to the man sitting at the dining table, reading his newspaper. So you're the man?
I'm busy right now.
Said the man while turning the pages of the newspaper. The doorbell rang incessantly now. The woman, annoyed, went to the door and opened it.
What's going on at this hour? We don't have time for nonsense. I have to go to work right away.
In front of her stood Jim, with a moustache and a blue suit that was much too big for him, holding a brown briefcase in his hand. Behind him was Paul, in a chihuahua disguise, chasing a squirrel in the front yard.
What do you want? We are not buying anything.
She was about to close the door again. However, Jim was too fast and slipped into the apartment, like a snake.
Great metaphor. Not metaphor, but
Comparison?
comparison, yeah.
Now, this is polite and happy Jim.
Yeah! Like, how's it called? Vertreter.
Vertreterstimme.
Vertreterstimme. I don't know.
A door vendor.
Yes.
Good morning. So, there seemed to be a big misunderstanding. The parents of the Earth Child are not dead. Yes. They are so alive, like a hamster in a hamster wheel. So, yes, we need to take her back. Right, Mindy's parents?
2 robot parents, who looked very similar to Mindy's parents, entered the house while breaking the front door, leaving an imprint of their bodies as a whole. So the door was broken.
They needed some new limbs, but they're as good as new.
Jim grinned, showing with one hand to the parents. There was a spark to be seen. The woman was a bit distraught.
Man.
You could say something like, honey, come here a minute. But no, it's, man, come here a minute. The kids' parents are here. Or darling.
No, I had in my head, I had this picture of like a woman and a man who go to work every day and they don't have like the best relationship also. I wanted to make them more like...
But enough money to compensate for it.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
Living
So this is like one of the situations where they are normally like together or something. Like you can see them together, but both of them are working. So they have like a very fancy and big house and a gardener who takes care of their front yard. But this was everything that I didn't want to include anymore because it's too much description.
The gardener doesn't just take care of the garden, you know.
No, because I want to emphasize that there's like a gardener also who does this work because everything is like, and they have like a house lady taking care of cleaning and everything because both of them are working. But it's more like also to emphasize that they don't do it by themselves.
Of course.
To show that they are rich at some point and clean and to have like...
Maybe not go working, but go to other places like tea parties.
Or maybe tea parties or something like this.
Yes, and you could also, instead of man, which no one would say, you could use the first name to show the distance.
Yeah, I didn't came up with a name. John.
Peter, come here a minute. The kids' parents are here.
Okay, so Peter came into the hallway. Jim put the suitcase he was holding onto on the floor and slowly opened it.
Of course, our company is very grateful to you for taking such good care of the Earth Child, and we would like to make you a great offer.
The suitcase was filled with huge amounts of money. Both parents observed the money. It seemed to be real.
We can have it all,
said Peter a little too greedily.
Yes, you can. You can get these 20,000 money units for 100 money units. The offer is only for a short time. Hit it while the supply lasts.
Advertising Jim. Both had greedy grins.
Wait a moment. We'll get the child. She has a slight cold,
said the woman while disappearing into the hallway. Sam reading. 15 minutes later.
Mindy arrived at the kitchen.
Still in the woman voice.
Mindy arrived in the kitchen wearing a black coat which was far too big for her and seemed completely exhausted, while the woman located one of her hand on Mindy's small shoulder, having a hand on her shoulder.
I think I
want to read it again.
Oh my god.
Mindy. Mindy, what have you done?
I'm sorry.
Mindy arrived in the kitchen wearing a black coat which was far too big for her and seemed completely exhausted, while the woman located one of her hand on Mindy's small shoulder. Having a hand on her shoulder. I can't read it, sorry.
That means that she grabbed her own shoulder with her one hand, and the other hand she put on Mindy's shoulder. Or she might have a separate hand as a pet. Like a parrot, you know. And this hand is
oh my god.
moving on the shoulder of the so-called mother.
Oh.
Mother bitch.
Mother bitch.
Mindy realized the robot parents with a blurry vision. Noticed, maybe?
Noticed?
Saw?
Noticed, yeah.
Noticed the robot parents with a blurry vision. Her eyes widened in shock, and the tears started to form in her eye.
She tears. She tears.
Started to form in her eyes, as well as a very weak smile. A very weak smile in her eyes.
Oh.
A smile. She's got a smile in her eyes. That's what I heard.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You guys are late.
Jim gave the suitcase with the fake money to the parents, stole some 100
money
euro,
units
from the woman's wallet and took Mindy by her hand while leaving the house. He turned around briefly.
So we have to go now. Still a lot of kids to sell today. Busy, busy, busy.
This I remember when I wrote this, because actually this was, I think, in November or December.
Yeah.
Because you were sitting on the sofa.
Yeah.
And I was writing this story, and this was the moment where I started to laugh very loud. And I was like, oh my god, I would so like to see your reaction. Like, this was the moment.
Okay.
Paul yelled in the garden.
Yay! Kids for sale!
Yay!
And he closed the door with a loud bang and shrill laughter.
You feel comfortable in these kind of situations.
Of course.
When there's a guy taking your child and then like, kids for sale.
But I usually take the kids for free because the parents are not that satisfied.
Yes.
They turn out.
Yes. Yeah. So now we are at Mindy's house, and it's still Sam reading.
Mindy's family lived in a small apartment a little outside of town, where the rents were a little cheaper. Jim and Mindy entered her apartment. It was very dusty, due to the long absence. Mindy looked up exhausted and took in the smell of her home.
And the dust.
Yes, and the dust. Home again.
Whispered she.
Whispered she. Yes, home again, whispered she.
While collapsing on the red entrance carpet. Jim was shocked. Why did this human just fall over?
Computer! What's wrong with his earthling?
Shouted Jim while scanning Mindy's body again with his alien device. High temperature, risk of protein coagulation, if not cooled, low probability of survival.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What? No, that can't happen. I need this earthling to get behind the secret of mind control. Computer, save this earthling.
Instructions appeared on the screen. Jim read them out loudly.
First step, move earthling to the so-called bed. Second step, give it liquid and food. Third step, wait and hope? Are you kidding me? Computer, this method takes way too long. I don't have so much time to waste to play a babysitter for this human. I have a world to destroy.
Jim grabbed some kind of syringe out of his pack and walked to Mindy's side, who was breathing heavily on the cold carpet in the hallway.
This will work much faster.
And administered the syringe to her with a purple liquid with his eyes shining red.
Oh, that's nothing special. They always shine red, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh.
A bit later.
Mindy slowly opened her eyes and immediately recognized the smell and familiar surroundings.
I'm home again. But why?
She looked around.
It wasn't a dream. My parents are back and they saved me.
She tried to sit up, but she couldn't feel her limbs.
Why can't I move? Ah, here.
Woohoo! Ooh! Ah! Yeah?
Such good conversation.
Perfect.
Ah, okay, that clears it up. She saw a green dog in front of her who was racing around the room hysterically and seemed delighted. He ran out of the room. Shortly after, a guy with green skin and an Elvis hairstyle came into the room.
What does this mean?
His organ. It's called Speedily Spooch. You can say Speedily or Speedily Spooch.
Speedily. Oh, my mighty Speedily, you finally woke up. I thought I had to give you some more of a serum. Took you long enough, too.
She brought out in a quiet voice.
Who are you?
I'm Jim. No, that's too much. I'm Jim. Gymnasium, and I'm your kidnapper human. Be grateful.
Kidnapped? And you brought me back to my home?
Exactly.
Mindy was confused. She started remembering yesterday's events and those robot parents.
They are not my parents, are they?
No, they're not. But they look alike, do they? I'm quite proud of my work. Also, now you don't have to be adopted anymore, or whatever this game is called.
No longer adopted.
Mindy was relieved. No one can know that her parents are really dead. She needs to grow strong and be able to live on her own. But how does a 4-year-old child do that? Eating, drinking, paying the rent. How does a 4-year-old child handle a drinking problem?
Drinking too much water is always a problem.
Yeah.
You're
And
getting
paying
enough
the
to
rent.
drink as a 4-year-old, but the gymnasium stole those 100 euros. Might that be
It's
sufficient for a 4-year-old?
Yeah, actually, that was what I was indicating. I didn't vote it down. They have money now because Jim stole like 100 euro.
Oh, yes.
So they can survive maybe half a month or something. I have to pay my rent.
A 4-year-old not bothered to pay her rent.
Since when did she actually know all these terms?
Yes, that's a correct question.
She tried to move, but still couldn't. Something was wrong with her body.
Mr. Nasium, why can't I move?
Jim looked at her tensely and walked to the edge of the bed. He kept one hand on the bedsheet.
Oh, yes. It should almost be time.
And lifted the sheet. You saw? Warning! Oh, shit! This is the thing you talked about, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, shit!
So, you wanted me to put a warning? And I didn't put a warning before, so what will come now is maybe a little bit more different.
I'd like to puke in advance.
If you want to stop the recording at some point, please tell me.
I don't know if I want to read this.
Should I read it? Maybe?
Jim and Paula looked at Mindy's body fascinated. Well, if you could call it a body. Mindy looked down at herself and panicked.
I can read it if you want.
Welcome to...
Because I don't know if you want to read it.
Scroll down.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Her body was inverted. All her organs were turned inside out and the whole bed was dripping red. A pounding heart, long intestines, 2 breathing lungs, everything was visible. Jim gave her a mirror, as you do, and now she could see her face. It was inverted, except for her eyes. Every vein and muscle was presented in the most disturbing way on her face. Looking up, now also spotting her brain, she started to feel really sick. I feel like actual Mindy would be like, oh, cool.
That's actually me inside, yes!
Oh, no. No! Why did you write this?
Yeah, Meck is already leaving the room.
And Meck is back in bed, okay.
Yeah, he's now going to the bed, so do you want to...
I'm still listening!
Okay, you're still listening.
You might want to close your ears now.
Yeah,
No, it's fine.
maybe, dear listener, I wrote down a warning, so...
Yeah, warning for what?
It's your own responsibility.
Warning for it's very gory, it's nightmare inducing, and it tells you more about Mindy you wanted to know.
Yes.
It's all your fault now. You can't turn back anymore.
And
It's too late.
And it's getting worse now, so be prepared.
Yeah,
No.
I'm continuing to read in 3, 2, 1. I thought you wanted to close your ears.
No.
Okay.
I wrote it down, why should I?
I don't know. Several small parasites seemed to be sucking on different parts of her brain. Paul removed one and ate it with the cracking sounds and a satisfied look on his face. Tubes were attached to several places on her body, injecting some purple substance. If her heart could jump out of her chest, it would do so out of sheer panic. Wait, that already happened. Smiley face! Meg, you should see the smiley face!
Oh, let me see the smiley face.
Come back to us, Meck.
Oh, that's the smiley face. Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, you see, it's not too bad, right?
It's just a cute smiley face.
Yeah. When I was writing this, I was like, oh my god, I cannot show you, but...
Yeah, you can't show us the smiley face.
Jim ignored her confusion and inspected a monitor attached to the end of the bed and read some data on it. He seemed delighted.
Very good. You will survive. My ingenious plan worked. You know, this transformation juice inverts your body, so I was able to enhance your inferior human organs with a purple substance that should be running now through every vein of your body. This red liquid is so useless. I got rid of it. Your body's now stronger, and my little parasites inject the substance also in your human brain. So no human disease should be able to harm you anymore, and your body functions have been improved, as also your mental abilities. Oh, and I could get a clear picture of human organs. You really only have 2 lungs. I always thought you need 6 or something like that.
He took her intestines in his hand and Mindy winced at the touch.
You guys really have a lot of useless things in your bodies, but you have to be so polite with external energies all the time so that your batteries don't run out. That's so outdated.
Mindy only half listened to Jim. She was more distracted by the fact that her body was inverted and parasites sucking on her brain. Will she always be in this state? She doesn't want to be a monster. It felt horrible.
Undo it, please.
She said as tears slowly formed in her inverted eyes. Jim examined a timer showing on the monitor.
Yes, you should be ready in around 3 Earth seconds.
Plop! There was a loud plop sound,
No.
and Mindy's body inverted itself back again while the tubes disconnected by themselves. Her appearance was the same as before. However, she felt like she was reborn again.
Like she was already reborn before. Reborn
A
third time.
again.
Like she was reborn, yes.
Reborn again.
But unpleasantly reborn.
Like being pooped out in vain.
Kind of.
Ooh.
Taking the chance to finally move again, Mindy scanned her body to ensure all of her limbs were still there. Jim stood triumphantly next to her, resting his hands on his hip.
How is she able to now all of a sudden scan her body? Using which devices and knowing how to do it as a 4-year-old?
I think scanning you can also say as like looking if all of your limbs are there. Like
If you do meditation, for example, they usually say scan your body.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Where are my kidneys? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's actually
Yes,
exactly
interesting.
what it is. Yeah.
How should I know what's in my body?
Or maybe it's more like to scan if there's some kind of emotion inside of you. And here's more like external limbs which you can see, so.
Or
Yes.
if there is another ouch inside of you.
Another ouch.
You know.
No ouch, good time.
Yeah.
So, human, now it's time for you to tell me your secret. I, Jim, know that you obtained the big secret behind mind control. Now tell me.
He held out the necklace from her mother, and Mindy's eyes widened.
Where did you get this?
Jim looked at the necklace.
This woman Earthling gave it to me, telling me to go to the address written on this chain. I only found you there, so you must know the secret to understand each other without words. Now, tell Jim.
Mindy had no idea what he meant by mind control, but an idea arose in her mind.
Wait a minute.
Mindy got up from the bed.
Fleeing is useless. The parasites in your head are equipped with a special GPS that allows me to always locate where you are.
Mindy made a disgusted facial expression hearing these words from Jim. That's a good sentence.
Why all of a sudden does she
this
feel
coming from?
disgust?
She went to a desk in the room and took out a sheet of paper and a pen. She wrote something on the sheet. Quite impressive for a 4-year-old.
Yeah, she improved, right? Her mental abilities and physical.
Because it has something to do with mental ability to suddenly be able to write.
It's more like Jim used the same principle that aliens used. Like I described it before, right? So Jim became an adult while getting this pack, which has like all of the knowledge that you need to survive by your own. And he kind of used the same principle with this purple liquid which he injected to her body to make her kind of like a person who can take care of her own. So she knows how to write and everything, and with her mind and body, like not the body, but
How to file for bankruptcy?
like she knew the words went and everything. So he I'm kind of imagining him like going to like I don't know, getting a dictionary and just like okay, these words, computer, take all of these words, put it into the violet purple substance and inject it into the violent purple substance and inject it into her body or something, like common human knowledge.
Jim stood in the room, crossing his arms in impatience. When she was done, she returned to Jim, presenting him the piece of paper.
Oh, wait, Mr. Nasium. No. Jim, I'm going to tell you the secret. However, you have to promise me something in return.
She held up the sheet in front of his face, revealing its content.
Make a contract with me.
Jim grabbed the paper and examined it. He heard of contracts. They are kind of like a promise, except that you can't break contracts under any circumstances or you'll be punished. He read the content out loud.
I, Jim, will promise Mindy...
Never to do transformation.
On anyone? No, I need to know. What does it mean?
This is not specified, you know?
But it would mean that Jim would never transform.
Never to do transformation again.
Yeah.
I made a small
anyone.
mistake.
See, yeah. I, Jim, will promise Mindy never to transform anyone again.
No, never to do transformations.
Yeah.
Good. I, Jim, will promise Mindy never to do transformation again. No matter what the circumstances. If I do, Mindy has permission to carry out a punishment of her choice. If both participants agree, please sign here. What is this fraud? For me to never do transformations again? Never, ever. Never, ever will I sign this contract, human.
He tore the sheet into small pieces, dropping them on the floor. Looking triumphantly once more at Mindy, he realized that she had already written another paper with the same text and was stubbornly holding it out to him. Jim gritted his teeth.
How dare she?
4 spider legs appeared out of Jim's pack, putting him in a higher position than Mindy, glancing at her with dangerously glowing red eyes.
What do you allow yourself to do here, Earthling? I saved your life. And this is how you're going to thank me, your savior?
Jim, though about getting rid of Mindy, preparing his spider legs to... I understand. You could have written a very beautiful sentence, but you decided not to. Jim thought about getting rid of Mindy, preparing his spider legs to pierce through her body. Mindy looked at him determinedly.
If you don't sign the contract, and thus promise no more transformations, you'll never get behind the secret of mind control.
Jim growled. He really wanted to know the secret. A few moments passed while Jim was trying to soothe his inner conflict. Finally, he made a decision.
Finally, he made a decision.
No, that's not what's written.
Okay.
Finally, he made a decision, and his spider legs disappeared as quickly as they showed up into the insides of his pack again.
Mick?
Hello! I'm back again.
Hello, Mindy.
Back again. Alright, mate. Alright. But that's not how I signed the contract. I want some adjustments in detail. For example, a deadline.
Don't scroll.
Sorry.
Mindy pondered about his ideas and included some small changes into the contract. She gave it to Jim again.
I, Jim, will promise Mindy to protect her until she is 21 years old, and never to do transformation again during that time, no matter what the circumstances. If I do, Mindy will have permission to carry out the punishment of her choice. If she survives until then, Mindy promises to provide Jim with a secret of mind control. If both participants agree, please sign here.
Jim agreed with a small nod of his head, and both parties signed the contract. Mindy offered him her hand. Jim looked at her hand in disgust. He liked it better before.
Yes.
What is this pose?
And gesture. Gesture? Is it gesture?
Yeah.
A gesture to seal the contract. A handshake concludes the contract. If you break the contract, you will be punished.
Jim shook her hand reluctantly. Mindy smiled genuinely at him, which made his speedly spooch twist in an unfamiliar way. Ew. Before he could delve more into this unusual feeling, a growl filled the room. In shock.
What kind of a crow like this growl here?
Similar, yeah.
What was this?
Mindy laughed, a bit embarrassed.
I'm hungry. Dad showed me how to make pizza with only a few ingredients everyone has at home. They should be still here. Let's go to the kitchen. We'll make pizza to celebrate.
What's a pizza?
Oh, you will love it. So let's make a break here, I think.